This is Valley News Live at 5.
Good evening, everyone. It's hot today, but the next 2 days we're set to shatter some records. We're going straight to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson now with the forecast and some tips to beat the heat. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. The heat is going to be very serious the next few days. That's why we have a first alert weather day for both Friday and for Saturday. Nearly 100 degrees, and as you mentioned, we're going to really crush some records. Today's temperatures are in the 90s in the valley and points off to the west. 97 for the Bismarck area right now. It is noticeably cooler off to the east, where we have 82 in Badette and in Roseau, and here's why. There's a little cool front that sags through the arrowhead of Minnesota, and it's trying to get down south toward the I-94 corridor. There's a few clouds associated with it, but most of us are going to remain hot tonight. So your planner for Fargo shows 90s will be in order until we get into the 8 o'clock hour. We drop into the 70s by bedtime. Air conditioning, one way to beat the heat for sure. And the heat is dangerous. Why all of this drumming up about the heat? Well, it's deadly. More people lose their lives to heat than to any other weather-related phenomena. And with some more safety tips on just what you can do to beat the heat is our very own Nathan Hopper outdoors. Nathan?
Yeah, thanks, Hutch. I'm out here in the heat. I'm in the elements myself. And one thing we want to talk about with the next 2 days having that excessive heat is the danger that comes with having that heat. So one thing, I brought the bottle of water. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. If you think you're drinking too much, you're probably not, especially because when you sweat, your body is releasing that moisture as the body's natural way, of course, of cooling itself down. Then I also want to point out, this thermometer's been in the car for about 10 minutes. And you can see it's already right around 100 degrees. This thermometer has been in the car for 10 minutes. There has been a cloud passing over, so this car has not been in the direct sunlight. So if you can imagine, with the sunlight we're expecting for the next few days and those air temperatures in the near triple digits for us here in Fargo, into the triple digits in some of the hotter spots for the next few days, make sure to check those back seats. You parents, make sure to double check the back seats. If you're a pet owner, make sure to double check the back seat. You're not leaving any kids or pets in those cars, because it takes just about 30 minutes on a hot day, on a 90-degree day, for that inside of that car to reach 120 degrees. So that's one thing we're watching in regard to heat safety. And as Hutch just said, heat is one of the #1 killers of people when in regard to weather-related phenomena. So again, there's a few tips for you to stay safe. And of course, I'm going to have the water here, and I'm going to drink this water out here. And so I'm going to toss it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan and Hutch. The extreme heat forcing the North Dakota girls soccer tournament to change game times in an effort to keep fans and players out of the peak temperatures. Tomorrow's semifinal games are now at 6:45 p.m. and 8:45 p.m. with Saturday's games to be played in the late morning. The Cheyenne Mustangs going into the tournament as the #1 seed out of the East today, getting a surprise police escort and parrot send-off this afternoon on their way to Grand Forks. A Fargo man is in jail tonight after dousing a house in gasoline and threatening to set it on fire. The situation started around 2:30 this morning at a house behind the Sanford Clinic on University Drive. Police say they safely got a woman and child out of the home and set up perimeters to try and talk with the man. Tristan Olson was given medical attention, then taken to the Cass County Jail for charges of terrorizing. Tonight at 6, hear how the Fargo Fire Department handles these dangerous situations involving gasoline and how crews might mitigate the highly flammable fumes. A Grand Forks man in hot water today after he was caught on camera breaking into someone's backyard and going for a dip in the hot tub. It happened Sunday just before 4 a.m. in the neighborhood behind Paradiso Mexican restaurant. The homeowner tells us their hot tub filter is now broken and the hose was ripped out and thrown in their yard. They say the man was also banging on the patio door trying to get inside the home. A report has been made with police, but at this time no one has been arrested. If you have any information, give Grand Forks Police a call. We're learning more about a police chase that started in Ottertail County last night. 2 men are in jail after leading police on a chase that spanned nearly 30 miles. It happened around 8 last night when the sheriff's deputies tried to pull over a car with no license plate, going more than 100 miles per hour. The chase ended in Clay County after a deputy performed a pit maneuver. The driver was Stephen Freeland. He was arrested on several outstanding warrants. His passenger, Preston Gums, was also taken into custody. Police also say an 18-year-old was with them, but she was released. Meth and drug paraphernalia were found in the car. Fargo police are asking for your help in reducing drug overdoses in the community. As of May 31st this year, they've already received 67 reports of overdoses, 13 of them being fatal. That's already close to last year's reports of 91. Police say the main culprit is fentanyl laced in M30s, oxycodone, or Percocet. Officials say it's all about protecting the community.
Like I said, our goal is to save lives. All of us that work here live in this community, and we don't want to see that happening. So the more help that we can give, I know law enforcement usually is the bad guy, but if they can talk to us and we can help them, I mean, that's our goal. So.
If you suspect illegal drug activity in your neighborhood, call the Fargo Police Narcotics Unit at 241-1405. Crews are removing concrete barriers, artwork, flowers, and other memorial items from a Minneapolis intersection that has become a memorial to George Floyd. City crews began the work early this morning at the intersection, which is informally known as George Floyd Square. 38th Street and Chicago Avenue has been closed to traffic and become a primary gathering place for those mourning Floyd.
This space is a space that has now become a national memorial for George Floyd, a national memorial for victims of police violence all over this world.
A community group worked to coordinate today's effort, and a fist sculpture will remain in the middle of the intersection. A federal judge is weighing in on a fight over fireworks at Mount Rushmore. The judge denied a bid from South Dakota's governor to force the National Park Service to allow fireworks at the monument this July 4th. The National Park Service is citing health and safety concerns, and local Native American tribes are also objecting to the fireworks. The governor now suing the Department of Interior, fighting to get those fireworks. She says her legal team will appeal the judge's, quote, incorrect decision. A controversial Mississippi law regarding abortion rights is making its way to the Supreme Court. After years of legal challenges, the 9 justices will have to make a decision with monumental ramifications. Our Washington News Bureau Peter Zampa reports 50 years of abortion rights are at stake.
You're moving in the direction of saying we don't care. We don't think you should be having abortion.
A conservative Supreme Court set to revisit abortion rights in the U.S. Lower courts threw out a Mississippi state law banning abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. But the High Court has agreed to hear the case. According to Paul Smith from Georgetown Law, that could give states more power and lead to further restrictions on the landmark Roe v. Wade decision in 1973 that legalized abortion nationwide.
A situation where states are free to do what they want to do on abortion.
Smith believes the Supreme Court would not hear the case if they were planning on ruling against the Mississippi law. He says the lower courts threw out the law based on past abortion cases having to do with when a fetus is viable well after 15 weeks. Hillary Schneller is on the legal team challenging the Mississippi law.
The ability to decide whether to continue a pregnancy has to remain with the individual, right? The alternative is it's the government making this decision.
Most Mississippi federal lawmakers are supporting their state's 15-week law. Congressman Michael Guest and Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith both say they plan on officially backing the law when it reaches the court by signing an amicus brief.
I'm really glad we're having the discussion, because I think that Roe versus Wade needs to be looked at.
Hyde-Smith hopes this is the beginning of the end for Roe v. Wade. Congressman Guest is also pro-life.
This just allows states to set reasonable limitations, and I do believe that 3.5 months at the time of pregnancy is reasonable.
The Mississippi case is the first major abortion dispute to test all 3 of former President Trump's appointees to the High Court. Oral arguments are expected to take place in the fall. In Washington, I'm Peter Zampa.
Will kids still wear masks when they return to school in the fall? Currently, the CDC recommends that students do wear masks in classroom settings, but the agency is signaling it may lift that recommendation over the summer. The CDC director says that vaccination rates among children could be the change. More than 700 high school seniors are graduating in Fargo public schools. 35 students will be graduating from Woodrow Wilson High School, 204 from South High School. There will also be 320 seniors graduating from Davies and 183 from North High School. Commencement ceremonies will be held starting tomorrow night through the weekend. The Bennett Elementary School is celebrating some milestones today. They had a clap out event to congratulate 5th grade students who are graduating to middle school. Students in kindergarten through 4th grade lined the hallways as the 5th graders and their parents walked through. Staff say the tradition is a fun way to bring everyone together to celebrate the end of the year.
there are some bittersweet feelings. Kids are excited for summer, teachers are excited, but it's also sad to see everyone go.
The event also honors years of service from district employees. And oh dear, take a look at this. Roseau Elementary School has a visitor today. A deer crashed through the window of the nurse's office. It was it was caught on camera. The school district says everybody helped clean up. Obviously an exciting way to end the school year.
Ouch.
A salmonella outbreak could be linked to certain chicken products. Later on Valley News Live at 5, what you can do to keep yourself from getting sick.
You don't even have to pay a couple bucks for the forecast. It looks very hot. Temperatures in the 90s today, not quite record breaking, but the next couple of days the records will break. Here in Fargo, 95, the record high for Friday and Saturday. I'll have details on how hot we get and where, and a chance of a few thunderstorms. All those details are straight ahead.